Hello and welcome. I'm that James guy, and in this video, we're doing something a little bit different, something I've not done before. We're going to be taking a look at 8 mechanics that I'm looking forward to abusing, exploiting, and gaming the system with in Crusader Kings 3. Now, first of all, a little bit of a disclaimer. Obviously, the game isn't out yet, so a lot of this is theory crafting based on tidbits, screenshots, and the dev diaries that Paradox have released. However, that doesn't mean we can't take a look at the mechanics that are shaping up to be busted. So without further ado, on with mechanic number 1. So for a start, scheming has been broken throughout Crusader Kings 2's existence. Now that doesn't mean to say it will be broken again, but with what we've seen from the intrigue lifestyle and from what we've seen about the new hooks mechanic, picture will appear somewhere over here, I think scheming is going to be even more powerful than before. With the new blackmail mechanic and character secrets, the intrigue system is now multifaceted. There's more ways than ever to keep your pesky vassals in check. Bribe the Holy Roman Emperor to give you his firstborn son in matrilineal marriage, and many other opportunities for rapid expansion and using the AI's weaknesses to your advantage. And for when bribery, coercion, and extortion fail, well, there's always murder. Which rather neatly brings me on to the intrigue lifestyle itself. While seduction is likely to be broken in all sorts of ways, just like it was in CK2, unless of course you're a tribe with countless sons, in which case you've broken your tribe, not the game. Now, anyway, the most interesting and potentially exploitable part of the intrigue tree, however, is the schema line. The schema line gives some ridiculously strong bonuses to scheming success rate, and unlocks a couple of new schemes that are frankly a touch ludicrous. For example, Fabricate Hook. Remember when we mentioned coercion, extortion, bribery, and making people do things that, well, you just want them to. You're blackmailing them? Well, now you can just make up a secret, invent it, craft it forth from the ether. And that means it's easier than it was before. Oh, you didn't want to murder them? Well, why not abduct them, torture them first? What's better than one murder? Well, abducting them and the ability to run 2 of them at once. So intrigue's shaping up to just be as broken and fun as it was before. I personally can't wait to make up lies and secrets about my opponents, and then, well, murder, torture, bribe, extort, coerce them. Anyway, on to number 2. Now for the dynasty tree. This is a whole new mechanic to the world of Crusader Kings, but it draws some interesting parallels to the national ideas of Europa Universalis 4. They're long-term bonuses that stay with you forever once you've unlocked them. There are 7 legacies to choose from: warfare, law, guile, blood, erudition, glory, and kin. Now while most of these bonuses make sense and are fairly logical, the one that interests me the most is the opportunity to create Anglo-Saxon Übermensch with the bloodline. Well, where we can make our entire family made up of genius, strong, attractive people, and prevent that sassy dwarf from appearing in your bloodline, and ruining your son and daughter's incestuous attempts to mate, which I suppose would be even worse if you were Zoroastrian. Now, we haven't actually seen any of the tangible bonuses you can get from legacies, but from the description, being able to control the genetics of your dynasty, it will be very strong indeed, especially if you manage to make it out of the early game alive. Speaking of dynasties, another mechanic that links quite nicely is that of cadet branches, which seem like it's going to be a very malleable mechanic, which I'm definitely going to use to keep my vassals in check. Why not have some of that genetically modified superblood in your Privy Council? It certainly seems better than the angry Duke of Norfolk plotting your downfall again. Now for part 3. It's another lifestyle, so do forgive me, but this time it's warfare. For obvious reasons, anything that allows you to stack a military bonus is going to be strong. Look at discipline stacking in EU4, for example. But with the changes to military structure in CK3 and the homogenization of levies and the expansion of retinues into the new men-at-arms mechanic, the strategy branch of the warfare lifestyle seems like it's going to be very strong. Just picking out a couple of bonuses that seem particularly good, you've got Parthian tactics, which make your light cavalry and skirmishers really strong. And of course there's Hit and Run, which buffs the bejesus out of, well, everything. Heavy infantry, pikemen, archers. These are 3 of the unit types that are renowned for being a little bit busted in CK2, especially when you use retinues. Now, speaking of men-at-arms, the strength of retinues in Crusader Kings 2 is indisputable, especially in the starting areas like Scotland, England, Slavic Russia. Excuse me. But with the strength of culture-specific retinues already extant in Crusader Kings 2, well, it stands to reason that some areas will have ridiculously good men-at-arms, and doing everything possible to max out the proportion of your army that is men-at-arms will definitely be something I go straight to do, especially in those culture-specific areas where it makes the most sense. Now, for the penultimate lifestyle that I think is going to be interesting and abusable, it's the stewardship lifestyle. This one isn't so much broken throughout the game, but just very strong during that early period, where getting a powerful centralized economy up and running benefits you throughout the time period. The flat bonus to income that comes with the wealth tree, and the flat tax percentage increased gains mean that it's going to be very easy to turn that money into buildings, into more money, into mercenaries, into more land. That being said, the part of the stewardship tree that interests me perhaps most of all is the architect side, which, with the change in CK3 that tech comes from provincial development and your culture and your cultural leader, and then sort of pushing your culture towards innovations and technology, that means that having highly developed land inherently gives you a bonus to technology, which is just about the most powerful advantage a nation can get, especially if past Paradox games are anything to go by. Oh, and the flat +2 domain limit, that means more buildings, more holdings, more money, more mercenary, yada yada yada, we've done that before. It's pretty much as broken as it can be. By stacking development as much as possible in your capital province, you will soon be rolling in ducats, technology, and potential spousal partners. So, you really will be ready for that slugfest that you know is coming. Now for the big one. Or, well, the first of the two big ones. And it's all down to one single, small, solitary change that alters the balance of power forever. Holy orders now fight other realms of the same religion. So, you have all that piety burning a hole straight through your pocket. Well, now you can just call on the Templars and press the claim on France. This alone makes Holy Orders far more important than they ever were in CK2, not to mention the more in-depth mechanics that seem to be... I've lost my place in my thing, that seem to be open to manipulation with regards to gifting them holdings, and maintaining control over the Holy Orders by ensuring that they're within your borders and de facto vassals, even if they're not de jure. I know I will be manipulating Holy Orders. I know I'll be using them to invade France, and that brings me very, very neatly onto Big One, Part 2. Remember the piety we were talking about that's burning a hole straight through your pocket? Remember how you blew it on the Knights Templar, and you invaded France, but you only took one county? Well, I spend my piety creating a new religion, which, funnily enough, based on the ridiculous numbers of tenets, faiths, and doctrines that have been teased, you teasers, there have been a ridiculous number, and I'm sure as hell sure that there's going to be a broken combination. I can't wait to find it, name it, and use it as my own, convert my ubermensch genetically modified kings and queens into a now broken, custom, all-powerful and mighty religion. And just to pick one broken option out of the ones that have been teased, pursuit of power. Rulers have a conquest CB against neighbouring rulers. So I heard you liked your snowball, so we added snowball to your religion for you. And, I mean... probably also get a holy order too, right? So that's gonna be broken. It's gonna be fun. And I'm gonna exploit it. Now back on to another lifestyle, this time with number 7. We have the learning lifestyle. Or, as it's otherwise known, the stat generation lifestyle. It started out with a little bit of a thick character, or your heir has all the lights on, but there's nobody home? Well, that's okay, because with this lifestyle we can just teach him to be more betterer. Like my grandma, I guess. Oh, it also enables you to get more skill from your counsellors. 20% more to be precise. And if you've played CK2, then you know how important character skill and traits are to your long-term success. Linking back with the previous two mechanics as well, you don't have piety burning a hole in your pocket yet? Well, then let me introduce you to the theologian part of the learning lifestyle, which kindly gives you 100% piety from buildings as a bonus, and it makes converting people to your broken religion quicker, easier, and less painful. So, yeah. Those three combined, gonna be fun, gonna be broken. And now, with number 8, the last one on the list, and perhaps not so much a new broken mechanic, more a mechanic that is my favourite from times of yore, from CK2. This is my favourite mechanic, other than Immortality, which coincidentally is not in CK3, so please, Heinrich, bring it back just for me. Just this once. Anyway, my other favourite mechanic is raiding. Just how many items, ducats, prestiges, and parties you can get burning down a monastery. If CK3 is anything like CK2, then raiding the English coast will be even more rewarding than it was before. And as an added aside, even easier. Now, with ships not actually being a thing, but instead just magically appearing, where you throw ducats on the water and your ships have turned into a water tax, and your men just jump from ducat to ducat as they cross the North Sea. So that's going to make it easier and quicker, and definitely make it possible to hit multiple high development, high tax provinces at the same time. Consequently, again, quicker, easier, you get the picture. We're going to be raiding, it's going to be broken, it's going to be fun, and it's going to be Crusader Kings 3. So there's 8 things that I'm looking forward to using, abusing in CK3. So thank you guys very much for watching. And do let me know in the comments downstairs what mechanics you look forward to using, breaking over a rack when you get your hands on CK3. Anyway, many thanks, have a good one, and I'll see you again soon.